Hello friends, welcome to the session. In last session, we saw how can we maintain state inside functional component, and in this session, we will see how can we handle different life cycle method inside a functional component. So for that, let's remove this extra counters, these two extra counters, and let's keep it that way. So there is another hook called useEffect hook which we can use to see life cycle method, which we can use to actually get the life cycle method inside functional component. So how it work, let's see. So we will write react dot use effect, and inside this use effect function there will be two two arguments. So a and b, two arguments. So first argument a is actually a function. So to make a function here, I will just write an arrow function. So this is one arrow function. So first argument of use effect is always a function, and second argument of use effect is actually a dependency list, a list of dependents which on change on which dependencies the use effect function on change of these dependencies. This function defined here will get executed again. So this use effect we can use to get the life cycle method in functional components. So how does we do that? So for that, if we clear out the dependencies, and here is no dependencies, right? So this function is never getting rerun again after first execution. So this will work as a component did mount. So here let's see, let's write console.log and let's write mounted. So see, there is nothing in dependency list, means this function here won't again run because the dependency list should change for this function to run, and we have nothing in dependencies to change. So let's see our screen, and let's see, here is a component mounted, and whenever I increase there is nothing here. So we can make adjust it. So let's copy it and let's paste it down here. If we don't give any of the dependencies to use effect, then this function we defined here will execute whenever anything inside the component changed. Like here is a state with count. If this count changes, then this will run again. If something coming from the props change, this will run again. So this method will work as a component did update. So let's see. So initially, let's write updated here, right? So use effect initially runs, and after that on increase only the update one is getting executed, because the mounted one is not getting any change in dependency list, but the update one is getting change in dependency list. So what if we want to listen only the change in count? So for that, if we give dependency list of count, then whenever this count changes, this component mount will call, so will get called. So let's see. So component mounted, right? But whenever I increase the count is increasing, so the dependency list getting changed, so the function getting executed. So we can just use our logic to run whenever certain component change as well in react.useEffect. So let's keep it this way. So I will write certain comments here. This works like component did mount, and this is working like component did update. But we have another method, that is component will on mount, right? So how the component will on mount work. So to do that, first we need to make on mounting component. So for that, let's make here a state const so counter set so counter is equal to react dot use state true. So this counter will only be mounted when so count is true, and to hide it, let's make a button and let's write toggle CUNTR counter, and in here we will write on click logic which will toggle set so counter previous counter change to not previous counter. So this will change our counter, this will toggle our counter, and so toggle our counter is set. So let's see in the screen. So when I toggle counter, the counter is getting removed and it is getting again mounted. So whenever the counter is getting removed, we want to run component will on mount. So for that, how can we achieve that? So to do that, there is one method called cleanup method in useEffect. So how cleanup work is, so how useEffect work is, this useEffect keep on listening the changes in the component itself, it never get complete execution. So whenever the component is getting unmounted, then this return will execute. So inside a return, we can return a quick arrow function, not something just a static value, but we will return a arrow function, and this will be called cleanup function. So inside a cleanup function, this will work as component will on mount. So here if we log unmounted, so let's see what happened here. So currently component mounted, and when I toggle component unmounted. So when I toggle again component mounted, when I toggle again component unmounted. So this is how we will achieve the component will on mount inside a functional component. So basically we will use react.useEffect to achieve the lifecycle method inside a functional component. And what we have to understand that is, if the dependency list is there and is empty, then that will work as a component did mount. If there is nothing in dependency list, that will work as a component did update. And if there is cleanup function in useEffect, that will work as a component will on mount. So here I am writing react.useEffect, so we can write directly useEffect as well. So to do that, first we need to import useEffect along with react here. If you do so, we can write useEffect like this as well. Use state also same. If we have to omit react dot n, we need to import use state here. So you can see the code being written like this as well. So don't get confused. It is just a way of doing things. Somebody will write react dot, somebody will write like this. So that's it, the lifecycle methods inside a functional component. And that's all for this session. And in next session, we will learn about inline styling in React. So thank you for watching.